Welcome to the home of the rich and famous.
I'll get you anything you want. Yes, I will. No, not you, Patrick.
Where no one is more pampered and privileged than the Beverly Hills Chihuahuas.
It's not easy to find a mate with papers. Hey, talk to the paw.
But Poppy is the one dog who's his own man.
Mi corazón.
Oh.
You're lovely.
Who is that hunk of Chihuahua?
If you ever need someone to lick inside your ears, I would be most honored.
Woof.
But this October...
I'm about to entrust you with my greatest treasure. You take good care of her.
Wake up! Come on!
Oh, no, she didn't.
Everything is about to go south.
We're going on a trip.
Mexico!
Hello.
Hola and adios.
Hold your tacos.
Now,
Chloe's in trouble. Papi, come on, fool, let's go.
the most pampered dog in Beverly Hills is 1,000 miles from home.
Don't you speak any Spanish?
Why would I speak Spanish?
Hello, you're Chihuahua, mija.
And this rebel and his crew
Say hello to my little friends.
are on a mission
Let's go get Chloe.
that's off the leash.
I'm gonna kick some tail.
Don't eat me, I got a wife and 300 kids to feed.
Nice legs. For the love of a banana.
Let's get out of here.
Walt Disney Pictures presents
I could use a little help. Don't help.
the greatest Chihuahua movie
Oh, yeah.
of all time.
Hey, homie. I have never had my teeth brushed before. It's minty.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Hi, I'm Viv.
I want to talk to Chloe. Would you put her on? Hi, honey.
Chihuahua.
So yeah, that trailer pretty much makes this movie look to be about as bad as you probably think it is. But, yeah, it kind of is, but it's nowhere near as bad as I think it could have been, honestly. You have a story that centers around a female Chihuahua, voiced by Drew Barrymore, who gets dog-napped in Mexico and has to escape a Doberman predator named El Diablo with the help of a lonely German Shepherd, played by Andy Garcia. And he has there's a hyperactive male Chihuahua played by George Lopez, who has a desperate crush on her. And yeah, it's the type of story you think it is. It's something you've seen before numerous times, but to the film's credit, the trailer made it look much worse than I think the actual movie is. The actual movie itself it's not a good movie. I'll just get that off the bat here. For an adult, it's definitely not their type of film, but I think kids could eat this up easily, and it is a very harmless film. It's a very harmless movie with effects that don't look terrible overall. I mean, the CG, the way they move their lips and all that, does not look fake at all. I mean, I've seen movies like Good Boy and other movies that are very much similar to this that could have easily done the same thing that they had done. But no, the CG in here actually does work pretty well. Sometimes the jokes in here can land, and there are some fun characters here. I think Drew Barrymore is very good in here. So is Andy Garcia as the German Shepherd, and it's a decent film. It's a film I would say it's fine for what it is. It's definitely one where I would not say to anybody who is over the age of maybe 10, 11 years old, maybe they could probably avoid it. But for little kids, you could show this to them, and it would not be harmless in any way, shape, or form. It would be harmless in any way, shape, or form, is what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, overall, it is what it is. It's a film that you can see from the trailer, and you're either going to buy into it or you're not. And most adults will probably not buy into it. But as it is, I didn't hate it. I just thought it was just kind of mediocre, kind of bland. And certainly the trailer made it a lot worse than it could have been. So take that for what you will. So with that said, on to the next movie here. One of the good movies this weekend. It's Michael Cera and Kat Dennings and Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Hey Tris, it's Nick. I think we both said some things we didn't mean, like when you broke up with me on my B-day.
We have a gig, Nikki.
I don't want to go. I'm taking a mental health day.
Promise me that you won't get drunk tonight. Nora! Alone again? I came here with someone. Who? Would you be my boyfriend for 5 minutes? What? Just go with it, okay?
Nick! Nora! How do you guys, know each other?
You
you off duty? Not a care, my friend, I promise you.
What did you see in her? I could floss with that girl.
Funny that Trish never mentioned you, but she did mention some jealous.
I'm not jealous!
He's hung up on Tris.
You're not the biggest fans of his ex, and we think you're the one.
Can dance? You know the blow dryer?
Laura,
Hey, what's wrong?
this doesn't concern you.
That's it. Awesome night.
Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Rated PG-13. October 3rd.
Again, kind of a story you've seen done before. The story of two teenagers played by Michael Cera and Kat Dennings who meet when Kat Dennings' character asks Nick, Michael Cera's character, to pretend to be her boyfriend for 5 minutes. And the film takes place over the course of the night as they try to find their favorite band's secret show, as well as search for Nora's drunken best friend, played by Ari Grainer. And throughout the night, Michael Cera's ex-girlfriend, played by Alexis Dezina from Fool's Gold, keeps showing up every once in a while. And you also have characters played by Aaron Yo, Jay Baruchel, and it's a really good movie. It's definitely a very underrated film written by Lorraine Scafina, who has made a lot of really good movies I like. Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, a criminally underrated movie. Hustlers was really good. I've not seen anything else but this director that I think was anything notable. And this was probably the most notable thing he did. And it works really well. It reminds me a lot of like a more mainstream version of Before Sunrise. Instead of Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, you've got Michael Cera and Kat Dennings, who are two really good, capable comedic actors who are really working off each other very well. You can buy their chemistry. And they have a lot of good fun stuff in here that makes this film really worth it. The soundtrack overall is pretty decent. And yeah, it's just a good, fun movie. It's a really enjoyable film. A real fun film overall. Definitely a very underrated film. One I would say definitely check it out. So with that said, let's move on to the next movie here. David Zucker with a new spoof movie. This is An American Carol.
Okay, so camera and action. He's America's most infamous filmmaker.
Here I am in the island paradise, Cuba.
Totally arrogant.
I love America. That's why it needs to be destroyed.
And completely clueless.
We're the biggest slave owner in the state.
Don't you worry, Master Malone. We got them bacon stains out of the upholstery.
This time, he's finally gone too far.
We're going to abolish July 4th.
We're not shaving till they bring all the troops home.
Thank you, boys.
We're mad.
And it will come back to haunt him.
Don't hurt me.
I've always stood up for gay rights.
I'm the angel of freaking death, you turd head.
Now, 3 American spirits
I am General George S. Patton. Will explain a slapping.
are determined to knock some sense into him.
Hey, you're not a spirit.
I know. I just enjoy slapping.
And will teach him the true meaning of patriotism.
So yeah, this is definitely one of the lesser Zucker Brothers spoof movies. In fact, it's not even Zucker Brothers. It's one Zucker, David Zucker. And yeah, even somebody like him, the great spoof master that he was, even he's prone to having some pretty bad movies. And this is really not a very good film. Not only is it a bad spoof film by somebody who has made the best spoof movies ever, but it's a parody of A Christmas Carol, one of the great stories of all time. And using that as the set piece of this, you have a story that follows filmmaker Michael Malone, get it, Michael Moore, who's played by Kevin Farley, the brother of Chris Farley. He's visited by 3 spirits to teach him the importance of Independence Day, and these spirits are played by Kelsey Grammer as the general here, Trace Adkins, and also, who's the other ghost here? I think it's, is it JFK? I think it's JFK. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but from what I remember from it, maybe it's John Voight who plays George Washington, which, not a very good role for George Washington, for John Voight, but it's supposed to satirize liberalism in the United States, focusing on Moore's documentaries, and it's not that the movie isn't trying, it's just the fact that, unfortunately, they've fallen into the same category as some of the really bad spoof movies. I mean, the satire and the humor is way too safe and marketable, and unlike something like the Freeburg Seltzer movies, it doesn't work because it's David Zucker, and David Zucker will still do movies where he's not afraid to go dark with the humor when it needs to. I mean, Superhero Movie was a perfect example of that. The scary movie films he did, I think, are good examples of that. This really did feel like he was really watered down in what he was trying to do here. And I think the fact that it was just him this time around, instead of having his brothers there or the other people who would have made this work very well, I think it really stumbles big time here. And not to say that it's bad, it's terrible or anything. There are times when it does work. I like the fact that Kelsey Grammer plays Patton in here. You know, Kelsey Grammer's a guy that, yeah, you put him in anything and he'll make it work. Trace Adkins playing the Angel of Death is pretty funny here. I like Kevin Farley. Kevin Farley, I thought, could have been a really good, could have followed in the footsteps of his brother, John Belushi's brother Jim, who tried to continue on his success after John Belushi died. Of course, as I said before, he's Chris Farley's brother, and I feel like in another world he could have had that same kind of success that Jim Belushi has had, but unfortunately, not with a movie like this. It's a film that really kind of falls apart pretty quickly, and the jokes really aren't that funny. There are cameos in here that really don't add up to much. The humor really isn't all that funny. There's a lot of people in here, like, James Woods is also in here. You have Robert Davi playing one of the terrorists in here. Leslie Nielsen, he's one of the few things in here that actually does kind of work. You have Dennis Hopper, the last thing he did before he passed away. But yeah, this movie, unfortunately, really fell apart pretty quickly, and it just doesn't work, man. I was really let down when I saw this for the first time, because I was really looking forward to it because of David Zucker's name. I mean, the guy will have his name attached to anything, and it will usually turn out comedy gold, except this is probably the only time where it's really backfired on a big time, and it's a shame, because I have a lot of respect for this man. I really do love his work, and, yeah, this is the first one that I've seen from him where it's just like, yeah, you really missed the mark on this one big time, so yeah, unfortunately, a hard skip on American Carol. And it's a disappointing hard skip, because I really think there should have been something there, but I think they went too down the safe and marketable route with it to make it something that needed to be as funny as it could have been, but unfortunately, it's not. So with that said, let's move on to the next movie. It's Bill Maher who has a comedy out, comedy documentary, Religulous.
Put that away.
Religulous is a blasphemous damnation of all things holy.
The Garden of Eden was in Missouri, according to Mormonism. The New Jerusalem will be there.
Brilliantly funny. Who are you?
The second coming of Christ.
Bill Maher has turned religion on its ear.
Why doesn't God obliterate the devil and therefore get rid of evil in the world?
He will.
He will. What's he waiting for?
Religulous.
Welcome to Bible country!
Rated R. In theaters October 3rd.
I mean, unlike the last movie, this is a political comedy that actually kind of works to the advantage of its leading person in here, Bill Maher, of course, from Politically Incorrect in Real Time. And this is a documentary from the same director of Borat, Larry Charles. And it's a documentary examining and challenging religion and religious beliefs. And if you've ever seen Bill Maher's style of comedy, it definitely fits into what you expect from him. And it can be funny sometimes, and this is definitely a capable documentary. It's a very entertaining one that will just show what makes Bill Maher's comedy style actually kind of work, but I don't know, it's one I probably would never watch again. I was glad I got to see it the first time I did, but I've never really had any real desires to go back to it. Not because it was bad or anything, but just like, I just didn't feel the urge to go back to it after a second time around, but for a one-time watch, it's fine for what it is, so quick review on that one, so let's go ahead and move on to the next movie we have here, which is Flash of Genius.
There's 20 million cars built every year, and every one of them's going to need our wiper.
A man with a unique invention.
Ford is very interested.
They want it. A company who would do anything to get it.
That is my design.
An American dream he would never give up.
They took this from us.
Flash of Genius is a remarkable and inspiring true story about a man with unbelievable grit, determination, and heart. You'll be rooting for him all the way.
It's just a windshield wiper. To me, it's the Mona Lisa.
Flash of Genius.
No, it's just a windshield wiper, Greg Kinnear. I'm sorry. I don't care that this was based off of a true story or not. This is a lame movie. Greg Kinnear plays Robert Kearns, and this is the story of his legal battle against the Ford Motor Company after they developed an intermittent windshield wiper based on the ideas the inventor had patented. And so he basically sues them, and there's a chance for him to get $10 million, but he says it's $50 million, I should say, but it's $50 million, and Ford's ready to pay it for him, and Greg Kinnear doesn't do it because he wants the credit for this intermittent windshield wiper, and in the end, they settle out of court for $10 million, so he lost $40 million instead of taking the $50 million that he could have had, and not only that, he destroys his marriage in the process. Lauren Graham plays his wife in the movie, and yeah, at some point she eventually decides to leave him, and so what do you really take away from this movie? I mean, is anybody out there really going to give you that much praise for a windshield wiper that only works not all the way through? Like, it's not even something that even works all the way through. Like, if it was maybe the creation of the windshield wiper itself, maybe you could have had something there, but no, this isn't the creation of the windshield wiper. It's a different form of the windshield wiper, and it's just like, dude, you could have had $50 million, but no, you have to do it because of the principle of the whole thing, which I hate that line so much. You always hear people talking about that whenever they try to start arguments with people. It's just like, well, you know, it's the principle of the scenario. No, the principle is you want the attention to be centered on you, so you're willing to not stop until you get exactly what you want because you're an obnoxious asshole, which this guy is. I'm sorry, I don't care about this guy's story. This is a lame movie that is not inspiring or inventive whatsoever. And no, I'm not rooting for this guy at the end of it, especially considering that he lost his marriage because of this whole thing. And it's just like, it's a terrible movie. It's a terrible, terrible movie. Flash of Genius, anything but that. So yeah, avoid this one like the plague. So with that said, let's go ahead and get back to some good movies. How about Simon Pegg and How to Lose Friends and Alienate People?
Behind the mystery
Nobody goes blind like that.
was a government cover-up.
May I have those files, please?
Our main obstacle is containment.
They thought they had everyone, but they missed one woman.
I can still see.
From the acclaimed director of City of God and The Constant Gardener,
It's up to you what we do next.
you can make a difference.
Oh my God.
Blindness, rated R, starts everywhere October 3rd.
Or we could jump into Blindness first before we jump into How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. That was my fault. I actually am recording this after I finished most of recording of the footage of the show already, but I realized I completely forgot to talk about this movie because it was sandwiched right between Flash of Genius and How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. But Blindness, let's talk about this. And really, we don't really need to delve too much into it, honestly, but I needed to include it in there because it did come out this weekend. You have a movie about a society that suffers from an epidemic of blindness, and those first infected are quarantined by the authorities into a mental hospital where the newly created Society of the Blind quickly breaks down. Criminals and the physically powerful prey upon the weak, hoarding the meager food rations and committing horrific acts. There is, however, one eyewitness to the nightmares. A woman, played by Julianne Moore, whose sight is unaffected by the plague, follows her afflicted husband, played by Mark Ruffalo, to quarantine. There, keeping her sight a secret, she guides 7 strangers who have become, in essence, a family, and she leads them out of quarantine and onto the ravaged streets of the city, which has seen all vestiges of civilization crumbling. And this comes from the same director that gave us City of God and also The Constant Gardener, which are 2 really good movies, but we talked about them long enough on the show. But this one not so much. This is a film that has a good idea overall, a very ambitious idea, but it never can go to that nth level to really give it that unique element to stand out on its own. Despite some really good performances across the board from Julianne Moore, Mark Ruffalo, Alice Braga, and a lot of good ideas overall, but just not enough execution there. It doesn't go the full 360 with what they're trying to get across here. What's the overall message of the storyline here? And I feel like that's a real missed opportunity here. And it could have made for something really entertaining and really intriguing, but there's just not enough there to really save the film in particular. And it's a shame because there's a lot of good ideas you can do with a story like this. And it just doesn't work, unfortunately. So, yeah, a hard skip on Blindness, unfortunately. Even though it had some good intentions all across the board, it just didn't lead to what it could have been. So yeah, now let's finally get to How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. Why not?
I work for Shelves Magazine.
This is a library card.
If you find him clueless,
Don't get snot everywhere.
Oh, that's grim.
if you think he's immature,
Would you like a little play?
just wait till you see how far he'll go to make it to the top.
Who's this funny-looking kid?
It's my wife. How to Lose Friends and Alienate People.
Would you like to do her?
Now available on pay-per-view and on demand.
Yeah, drop $50 million on the windshield wiper. That's how you lose friends and alienate people. Okay, I'm off for Flash of Genius. Let's talk about this movie here, which is a good movie. A movie I actually do kind of enjoy. I think it's the better of the 2 Simon Pegg-led movies that he was in this year. You have a story where you have Simon Pegg playing a highly fictional, a story where it's about the people that, it's based off of a memoir of Toby Young. He plays Sidney Young in this movie, Simon Pegg does, and how it follows a struggle to make it to the United States after an appointment at a magazine, and the names have been changed around here, you know, for dramatic effect, I guess, and it definitely is a much different story than the actual book that it's based off, but I never read the book when it came out, saw the movie, I really liked it. I thought it was actually pretty funny. Simon Pegg stars alongside a really good cast that includes Kirsten Dunst, Danny Houston, Gillian Anderson, Jeff Bridges, Megan Fox coming off of Transformers. It's a real good movie. It's a movie that I think doesn't get the proper attention it deserves. It's definitely the much better of the two movies that he starred in that year. I thought Run Fat Boy Run was not that great of a movie, but this is definitely a film that works to the advantages of what makes him, Simon Pegg, a very funny actor as a whole. And he plays it very well here. It's a very good movie. It's a very entertaining film. A very underrated film indeed. So, one I say definitely check out. So let's go ahead and move on to the last one we have here. Jonathan Demme's latest film starring Anne Hathaway, Rachel Getting Married.
No, you. I would swear to God that you were puking again. Is your sister behaving herself?
You don't get to sit around deciding what I'm supposed to be like.
Rachel Getting Married, rated R. Now playing only in theaters.
I mean, I still think Philadelphia is the best movie Jonathan Demme ever made, but this is a really good movie regardless. You have Anne Hathaway playing a young woman who's been in and out of rehab for the past 10 years, returning home for the weekend of her sister's wedding, the sister being played by Rosemary DeWitt from Mad Men. And, it's a real good movie. It's a really good movie focusing more on Anne Hathaway really being the star of this movie. I think this was the movie that really finally woke people up and made people realize that, hey, she's not just the girl from the Princess Diaries. I mean, this is a really good actress giving a really good performance that led to her getting an Academy Award nomination, which she probably would have won had she not starred in a really bad comedy that came out just before the Oscars did. We'll get to that one eventually, but Jenny Lumet wrote this, and she wrote the infamous Remember Me, but it shows here that, hey, she can write some good stuff after all. A cast that includes Bill Irwin, Anna Devere Smith, Deborah Winger. I mean, what's the last time you saw Deborah Winger in anything noteworthy since Terms of Endearment? But this is a really good movie. It's one I really enjoyed. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a very good film overall and showed what Anne Hathaway can do as a leading actress. And it's one I say definitely check it out. It's worth it. Rachel Getting Married.
In March 2008, the U.S. government issued an emergency order sealing off an apartment complex in Los Angeles, California. 48 hours later, a hazmat team was sent to investigate the quarantined building. Authorities have denied any knowledge of the incident. The residents were never heard from again. There were no explanations. There was no evidence. Until now.
Department's about to begin the rescue process. Police say that she lives alone. She's not very social.
We're here to help you.
Oh, God! Oh, my God! We have to get out of here! We have to get out of here! Lock it, lock it, lock it!
What's up there?
Well, I think you can obviously see the first problem with this movie is the fact that they pretty much spoiled the ending of the original Wreck in the trailers, and not just in the trailers, but also the poster as well. Basically, this was the money shot, and, yeah. if they have to sell you on the final shot of the movie, maybe that's a sign that this is not going to turn out pretty well. But who knows? Maybe this could actually work out in their favor. But just like in the movie Wreck, it follows a reporter played by Jennifer Carpenter from Dexter and her cameraman assigned to a pair of Los Angeles firemen who follow a distress call to an apartment building where they discover a deadly mutated stream of rabies spreading across the building's occupants. Escape becomes impossible once the government descends upon the building to prevent the virus from spreading beyond it, and the pair continue to record the events that unfold inside, of which the film itself is the result. Now, this is directed by John Eric Dowdle, whose last movie was the Poughkeepsie Tapes, which was never released until 2017. We already looked at it earlier in the 2007 Leftovers episode. But this is also the same director who also gave us the majesty and awfulness that is Daredevil, that came out from 2010 with M. Night Shyamalan writing that one. But basically what I'm trying to say here is that the Dowdles are not good filmmakers. But in the case of Quarantine, this one actually does kind of work. And yeah, I know they spoil the money shot in all the marketing, but the film does a pretty good job of keeping the same style, the same formula, and the same magic of the original Wreck without just redoing a remake of Wreck. It's not a shot-for-shot remake. It's something that's very much in the same vein, but doesn't feel like it's a straight-up copy of the other movie. Plus, there's a lot of good actors that make the material work here. Jennifer Carpenter, as I said before, Jay Hernandez, Columbus Short, Greg Gurman, Daniel Ramirez, Jonathan Sheck, and a lot of really good talent there. The tension is still very good overall. They do not use any music in this movie. It's only sound effects to make it really is a well-done movie in terms of letting the atmosphere and the tension be the reason why this movie gets you so hooked and want to see what happens next. And yeah, it does spoil the ending of the movie in the marketing, but in the end, the film itself is worth it. It's a remake. I didn't have a whole lot of expectations going into it. I really thought it was going to be terrible, but lo and behold, it did turn out to be a very enjoyable film. A film that I thought I would not like, considering that this director had been behind some really terrible horror movies, but he actually made a good one here. So, hey, there's always a first time for everything. A broken clock can be right every once in a while, and this is that time for John Eric Dowdle. So enjoy this until the next time he makes another movie, and we all hate it. That'll be in 2 years' time. But anyway, that's Quarantine for you. So let's go ahead and move on to our next film that we have here, which is Ridley Scott's latest film, reuniting him with Russell Crowe after American Gangster and co-starring Leonardo DiCaprio. It's Body of Lies.
Our world as we know it is a lot simpler to put to an end than you might think.
Rules of the day. The car gets immobilized, starts shooting, nobody gets traded, everybody dies. Same as every day. Got it.
Oops.
How the hell do you expect me to run an operation when you're running a side operation?
I'm just trying to back you up, buddy. It's a dangerous, dangerous world out there, you know?
It's not working.
This little war will go on with or without you.
Buddy.
Well, I did it, all right? It's done. I killed him.
You're blown. Just chatter.
You are power hungry and greedy. How do you expect me to operate?
I did what I had to do. Are you quite finished? Nobody's innocent in this, Ferris.
I can't do this anymore.
Call me when you're thinking straight.
I am thinking straight. You're not, all right? You can't because you're a million miles away.
You walk out on me, you know what that means.
What does that mean?
Right.
Off target.
Copy, off target 310.
One of Ridley Scott's most underrated movies. You have Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe starring in the leading roles. It's set in the Middle East following the attempts of a CIA agent and a GID of Jordan to catch al-Salim, a terrorist, frustrated by their target's elusiveness. Differences in their approaches strain relationships between the CIA operative, the supervisor, and the head of Jordanian intelligence. But the cast also includes Mark Strong and also Oscar Isaac. The writer of this movie is the same man who also wrote The Departed, too. So there's a lot of good talent across the board here. And you got two heavyweight actors in Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe really working off each other and playing it very well. The performances are very good here. The visual style of the film is really cool. Ridley Scott, man, I criticize the guy for his later works, rightfully so, because his later films have not been that great. But this was back when he was really taking chances and doing unique movies like this, Black Hawk Down, American Gangster, even his films that weren't working, like A Good Year, are at least films where it's just like, okay, it doesn't work, but I could see you're trying to do something very different overall. And it's very well done. The action sequences are nicely done. The tension between Crowe and DiCaprio is very well done. It's a really good film. It's a film that does not get the proper attention I think it deserves. It wasn't a big hit when it came out in theaters, but it's a film that I think has definitely gotten a lot better. It is definitely one of Ridley Scott's more underrated films, and one you should definitely check out. Body of Lies. It's one I highly recommend. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie we have here, and that is The Express, the Ernie Davis story.
This was the greatest college football player the game had ever seen.
He's too fast for these kids. He's too fast for anybody.
He never played a game as a professional.
How sick are you, Ernie?
I'm going to fight her.
But he changed the sport.
I've never walked off the field for anybody.
And our country forever.
Go, Davis, go!
The Express travels the range of human emotion, from sadness to laughter.
Everything I got is because of football. I need to play.
To pride.
There won't be another Ernie Davis.
To triumph. The Express. Rated PG. In theaters Friday.
So the moral of the story here, kids, is that even in 1963, the Cleveland Browns just could not catch a goddamn break. Because, he was supposed to be drafted by the Cleveland Browns, but he never played a bit down for them because he passed away before his time came to go on to the National Football League stage. But this is based on the true story of Ernie Davis, a Syracuse University football player, the first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy, played by Rob Brown, and explores civil rights topics such as racism, discrimination, and athletics. And it also most notably features the film debut of Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, starring as Floyd Little. And this is directed by Gary Fledler, who's directed a couple movies we've talked about on here, Runaway Jury, to be example, Don't Say a Word. This also features Dennis Quaid playing the head coach of the Syracuse football team, I think, Ben Schwartzwelder. You also have Amar Benson Miller from Miracle at St. Anna, Anjanae Ellis from King Arthur, Clancy Brown, of course, from SpongeBob, Saul Rubinek playing Art Modell, Charles S. Dutton, Nicole Beharie, and as I mentioned before, Boseman in here as well. And it's a film I really wasn't expecting a whole lot going from it. I mean, the story, this is a film that they were really pushing hard to be the next Friday Night Lights. I mean, I remember when the Steelers played the Browns on Sunday Night Football in 2008, they had a huge marketing push for this movie because they really thought they had something, and they were promoting it all across the game. But then again, it was also in Cleveland, too, so it made sense to have it in there. But this film did not do very well at the box office. It came and went. But unlike last week's Universal Flash of Genius, this one actually is pretty good. It's a story that is very fascinating. It has a really good leading performance by Rob Brown, who was also in Stomp the Yard and also in Coach Carter. And it works very well. You really do get the feeling that this guy is plays the role of Ernie Davis very well. And Dennis Quaid is really good playing the coach of the team. And they do a very good job of keeping you on the edge of your seat and wanting to know who this guy was and how he changed the course of the history of the NFL, is of football in general, without really knowing about it. Because most people who see this movie are not going to remember that he was going to play for the Browns at some point in the National Football League. It's a really good movie. It's a film that I really was not expecting a whole lot from. It was a movie I overlooked for a long period of time because it's just like, okay, I've seen this story done before. We've seen this done in other sports movies before, and nothing's really going to change my thoughts on this in general. But lo and behold, they actually did make a pretty decent film overall. One that I was really surprised by. I actually did kind of enjoy it. It's not going to really do anything unique or different compared to other sports films, but it's still pretty fun all across the board. Still very well done, still greatly acted, and a very underrated film. One that I really did not see coming on here, so yeah, it's one you should definitely check out. The Express, the Ernie Davis story. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next one we have here, Gil Kennan's latest film, City of Ember. So here you have another one of these family adventure films that's trying to be the next Harry Potter, the next Lord of the Rings. And I can tell you, that trailer, that commercial trailer for the DVD is much different than the trailer for the actual movie itself, because the trailer for the actual movie is more like an action-adventure film. This one makes it seem like it's a kiddie film. But on top of that, there's all these names on here. Not just Gil Kennan making his live-action directorial debut after Monster House, but this was written by Caroline Thompson, who gave us Edward Scissorhands and also The Nightmare Before Christmas. A cast that includes Saoirse Ronan from Atonement, the aforementioned Bill Murray, Mackenzie Crook, Martin Landau, Mary Kay Play, Toby Jones, Tim Robbins. This was produced by Tom Hanks through his production company, Walden Media, the company behind Journey to the Center of the Earth. I mean, there's a lot of things about this movie that should give it a fair advantage to actually be good, but it's that idea that the film has no idea what it wants to be. And, you know, compared to the other movies that Fox tried so hard to make the next Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, like Aragon and The Secret of the Dark is Rising, this may be the best of the bunch, but at the same time, it really isn't enough for me to say it's one you should definitely check out. It's a film that really is lost in what it's trying to accomplish. Like, what's the end game here? Like, what am I supposed to take away from it? They can't settle a tone. It feels like they're just doing this because, hey, we saw it with Harry Potter. We saw it with Lord of the Rings. Clearly, this is going to work. And, no, you need a point to it. You know, like Steve Martin said in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Have a point. It makes things so much easier for the listener and the watcher in this case, too. But I don't know. It's one that I saw it, and I really didn't get much out of it. So that's City of Ember. Let's get back to some good movies now. How about Guy Ritchie's latest film, The RockN'Rolla?
What's the question? What's a RockN'Rolla? What do you want?
You.
We better come in then. Well done. We all like a bit of good life. Some the money, others the glamour, or the fame. But a RockN'Rolla, oh, he's different. Why? Because a real rock-and-roller wants the lot.
RockN'Rolla. What do you think we are? Gangsters? Look for it.
Okay, RockN'Rolla, but they call it the RockN'Rolla, so that's why I said that. But RockN'Rolla, Guy Ritchie's latest film, in which you have a London mob boss who puts the bite on all local real estate transactions for substantial fees. He's helping a Russian developer as a sign of good faith. The Russian developer and the mob boss the Russian developer loans the mob boss a valuable painting promptly stolen off of his wall. And while his men, led by the dependable Archie, played by Gerard Butler, look for the canvas, 3 local petty criminals, the Wild Bunch, steal money from the Russian using inside information from his accountant, the lovely Stella, played by Tandy Newton. Meanwhile, a local drug-addled rocker, Johnny Quid, is reportedly drowned, and his connection to Cole is the key to unraveling the deceits and double crosses of life in the underworld. So essentially, it's another Smoking Aces, but from Guy Ritchie, and Guy Ritchie made a lot of really good movies like this. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch. He was also one of the main producers behind Layer Cake. I mean, just a really good, fun movie, and a nice return to form for Ritchie, who had been kind of on a downward spiral in the early years for most of the decade. Swept Away with Madonna was a bust. Revolver was not as strong as a film. But this is a nice return to form for him, with a strong cast that includes Gerard Butler, Tom Wilkinson, Tandy Newton, Mark Strong, Idris Elba, Tom Hardy, Toby Kebbell, Jeremy Piven, Chris Bridges. A lot of people saw Tom Hardy for the first time in this movie, myself included. And it's a really, really good, fun movie. It's very much a film that you expect from the same guy that made Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch. Very funny, very action-packed, very over-the-top, very silly, and just a very good time all across the board. It's a film that's worth it, and yeah, I really like this one a lot. RockN'Rolla is a ton of fun. So with that said, let us move on to our last film, that is Sally Hawkins and Happy Go Lucky.
You can't make everyone happy.
There's no harm in trying, though, is there?
Happy Go Lucky.
This, of course, comes from Mike Leigh, who gave us Life is Sweet and Breaking the Waves. This is another great film of his. This is a film that introduced us to the world of Sally Hawkins, and of course, who would later go on to star in the Paddington movies and The Shape of Water. And she plays a cheerful and optimistic primary school teacher, with her relationships with those around her being the focal point of the film. And you also have characters played by Eddie Marsden from Sherlock Holmes, and it's another really good Mike Leigh film. If you've seen his works before, like Breaking the Waves and also Life is Sweet, as well as Vera Drake, Topsy Turvy, Career Girls, Naked, High Hopes, very good movies for the most part overall. And the guy knows what he's doing. He makes these very sweet, sentimental, coming-of-age storylines with these adult characters that I think works very well. And Sally Hawkins proves to be quite the screen presence in this movie. For a lot of people, this is their first time seeing her in this movie, and it works really well. She's a very good actress. She's proven that in the years since then, and the film is very funny and charming. It's a very good movie, one you should definitely check out. Not much more to say about this one per se. A good, fun little small film. Happy-go-lucky.
There's an army of bodies under this river. Criminals reaching up to welcome me as one of their own. It was an easy mistake to make.
The devil is building his army. Max Payne is looking for something that God wants to stay hidden. That's what makes him more dangerous.
Remember when you were a kid and you'd hold your breath when you run past the graveyard? Leave that man alone. When the people a man needs get taken away from him, you can't ever go back to who you were before.
So totally looks like the video game, am I right? Also, why is it that Olga Kurylenko keeps showing up in these movies, and yet for some reason, every time she appears in them, she gets naked and nobody wants to have sex with her? I mean, we had it in Hitman, it's going to be in Quantum of Solace next month, and in this movie too. It's a weird thing. I mean, you have this beautiful looking woman who's clearly trying to get naked and have sex with the leading man, but nobody wants to do it. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on. Is she a dude underneath this, like a crime game scenario? I mean, come on, I want answers, damn it. Okay, not really, but this is Max Payne. Hell-bent on revenge, Maverick Cock Max Payne, played by Mark Wahlberg, is determined to track down those responsible for the brutal murder of his family and partner. But as the mystery deepens, Max is forced to battle enemies beyond the natural world and face an unthinkable betrayal that will drive him to the edge of his own insanity. And as far as the film itself goes, I mean, it's not as bad as I think people make it out to be. I think Mark Wahlberg's doing a decent job as Payne in particular. Sometimes the action sequences can be pretty good, although there is definitely a lot of pointless slow-mo in this. Like, they were really padding the running time out on this puppy. And, hey, Mila Kunis was actually pretty decent in here, playing Mona Sachs, but there are some things that really do hurt the film overall. The rest of the other casting's kind of mediocre. There's nothing really great about any of the other performances in here. As good as the action sequences can be, the last one pretty much is ridiculous, funny, but also kind of badass at the same time. But it really does have a really bland ending that literally just stops as soon as they're done. It's just like, the movie's just like, I don't give a... Okay, we gave you what you wanted. See ya. And, like, that's it. Like, they just took your money away, and now they're running away. Like, you're waiting for something to happen, and the film just suddenly stops. It's just like, yeah, we've got nothing else to do here, so... Yeah, this movie is not that great overall. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. It's a fun movie. I mean, it can be fun in its so bad it's good type of scenarios, but it has a lot of mistakes, but I still liked it enough to say a partial recommendation on it. I mean, if you go into it knowing it's not the game, you can enjoy it for what it is. Some of it is very so bad it's good, but yeah, it's not as bad as people make it out to be, especially from this director who also would do The Omen and A Good Day to Die Hard. But if you could say that this is the best thing he's done as a director, that's not really a credible source to you personally. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Max Payne. So let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is The Secret Life of Bees.
What we got here?
We need a place to stay.
From the celebrated New York Times best-selling novel, critics are rating The Secret Life of Bees is smart, sassy, and deliciously sweet.
Who's gonna take them in if we don't?
Queen Latifah, Dakota Fanning, Jennifer Hudson, Alicia Keys.
I can't think of one thing I'd rather have than somebody loving me.
Don't ever be afraid. We are enough.
The Secret Life of Bees, rated PG-13. Friday, only in theaters.
So in 1964 South Carolina, you have this 14-year-old girl played by Dakota Fanning who's haunted by the memory of her late mother. And to escape her lonely life and troubled relationship with her father, T-Ray, she flees with Rosaline, played by Jennifer Hudson, her caregiver and friend. So Jennifer Hudson's basically playing the magical, mystical Negro role in two movies in a row this year. They go to a South Carolina town that holds the secret to her mother's past. Taken in by the intelligent and independent Boatwright sisters, Lily finds solace in their mesmerizing world of beekeeping. They're played by Queen Latifah and Alicia Keys. And this was a movie that was kind of a sleeper. Nobody really knew it was coming, and when it was a hit, no one really expected it to be as big of a hit it is. From the point of view from me, personally, when I looked at it, it was just kind of like, yeah, this is one of those movies that's clearly begging for the Oscars, and when I saw it, I was just kind of like, I didn't hate it per se, but I can definitely tell it's awards-bait stuff. I mean, the performances overall are very good. Queen Latifah is doing pretty good in here. A lot of really good talent all across the board here. Sophie Okanoto is also in here. Paul Bettany, directed by Gina Prince Bythewood, who would do Beyond the Lights and most recently The Woman King. So there is talent all across the board here. There's just nothing about it that really makes me say it's something you want to check out in particular. But, like I said, not a bad movie per se, but not really a great one either. Most of the performances carry the load in here, but that's really all I got for you. It's been a while since I've seen it too, so I don't know if it's gotten worse or better as time goes on, but I don't know. Me personally, I just thought it was okay, So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is, we're getting to the good stuff now, starting off with this next film here, the last great film I think Oliver Stone did, and that is Josh Brolin as the then current president, George W. Bush in W.
If I remember correctly, you didn't like the sporting goods job.
So what you want? Come on, baby.
Working in the investment firm wasn't for you either.
Or the oil rig job.
You didn't exactly finish up with flying colors in the Air National Guard, Junior.
Now.
What are you cut out for?
Partying, chasing tail, driving drunk. I got it.
What do you think you are? A Kennedy?
You're a Bush. Act like one.
You want an ass whipping?
Try it, old man.
Go ahead, take a swing.
Selling you right away on a really damn good trailer featuring What a Wonderful World and all the people involved in the movie. You see Josh Brolin as the president, Elizabeth Banks, James Cromwell, Ellen Burstyn, Ian Grufford, Richard Dreyfuss, Scott Glenn, Jeffrey Wright. I mean, there's a lot of really good people in here. Tandy Newton as Condoleezza Rice. This is Oliver Stone's take on the life of George W. Bush, chronicling his wild and carefree days in college to his military service, to his governorship of Texas and role in the oil business, his 2000 candidacy for president, his first turbulent 4 years, and his 2004 re-election campaign. It's a film that honestly kind of came and went. It didn't do that well with critics overall. Audiences were kind of mixed on it, and most people didn't think Oliver Stone could handle a biopic about a polarizing figure like George W. Bush, even though he's pretty much done a pretty good job of other presidential biopics. I mean, Nixon is probably the best example of it. I mean, he made Richard Nixon seem likable, which is something that's hard to believe and actually makes it feel like it makes sense. But then again, you have somebody like Anthony Hopkins who can make that work. JFK was another good movie about a president, even though it was about his assassination and the conspiracies behind that. And I thought he did a pretty good job with this movie. I mean, yeah, he doesn't go for all the necessary punches that needed to be there, but he does just enough to make it very enjoyable to watch. I think Josh Brolin fits the role of Bush here very well. Everybody's playing their parts well to a T. And kind of like with Eagle Eye a couple weeks ago, the first half of the movie, I think, is really good. And then the second half, it starts petering off a little bit. Like, it really kind of loses its muster overall. And it does get kind of repetitive and boring by the time the movie ends. But it never gets to the point where I would say it's a thing that ruins the movie in general. I think the first half really is the strongest part of the movie. But the second half overall is okay. But it definitely felt like it could have been a whole lot better. It felt like there was much more stuff that could have been added into there. And I thought it worked very well for Oliver Stone. I mean, like I said, this was the last movie he made that I thought was really one of his better works. Because after this, every movie he made after this was definitely not as successful or as good as his other works. I mean, this is the last time we saw peak Oliver Stone. I mean, he's got the same writer who wrote Wall Street too, so of course he's going to go out on at least a good note here with this film. And it does come up to a good film overall. It definitely is a movie that could have been enhanced with a much better second half, but I liked it. I thought it was actually pretty good for what it was trying to do. I think it's a very underrated Oliver Stone movie. It's one you should definitely check out. It's one I would highly recommend checking out. Just be prepared for the second half to be much less than the first half was. I mean, it's a good movie overall. So that's what I say about W. Speaking of movies that were kind of overlooked when they came out, on to the next movie, and that is the sex comedy Sex Drive.
We open up against Michigan in 2 weeks, so coach has got me hitting the bench pretty hard. Shoot. How much is the lot? I'm putting up 300.
Ian, you're 18 and you've never had a girlfriend. That's how people wind up getting gay.
I don't think that's really how it happens. And anyway, there is a girl.
Where'd you meet her?
Online.
What? Don't you watch Dateline? She's probably a guy.
Maybe. But what if she's not? You know, she doesn't even want me, okay? She wants him. What was I supposed to tell her? That I make minimum wage, dress as a donut? Ian, why you gotta work the mouth when you talk to me? Sorry, it's a habit. Holy buckets. She wants me to give her the... You roll up in a 69 GTO, she's not gonna care what you look like.
How's it feel?
Feels pretty good.
Need some help?
No offense.
Oh, right, because I'm Amish, so I wouldn't know anything about your 69 GTO Judge. 455 big block Ram Air. Well, good luck with the future ride, spaceman. Let's make some music, make some bodies, and some models to rise. Put your hands on your head. I can't move the other arm. Who said that? I can't move the other arm. Sir, I'm not resisting. It's foam, sir. Ah! Ah! The big Mexican won't go down.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is actually a much better movie than the trailers make it out to be. And the trailers make it look out to it's your typical raunchy teenage sex comedy, which it is, but this one I think is actually one of the better ones, honestly. This is a movie where you have Josh Zuckerman, who plays a high school graduate who goes on a road trip to have sex with a girl he met online, who's played by Katrina Bowden from 30 Rock, and he's got his buddies with him, played by Amanda Crew, who's his girlfriend slash not friend, because yeah, she really does come off as kind of a bitch in this movie, because she keeps cock teasing him and playing him like hell all throughout the course of the movie. And then you have Clark Duke, then of Greek fame, starring in the film, and you see the little cameos by James Marsden, Seth Green, David Koechner's also in here too. And it's a really good, funny movie directed by Sean Anders, who mostly hit and miss as a director, but he's been pretty good as of late with stuff like Instant Family and Spirited. He also did, didn't he do another movie that I thought I like the first Daddy's Home. I thought the first Daddy's Home was good. Daddy's Home 2, not so much, but I like the first one overall. yeah, the film itself, it's your typical sex comedy, but I think the cleverness of it is definitely more in there because the young actors in here are really playing their parts very well here. Clark Duke and James Marsden are very funny. Seth Green's very good in his bit part too. I like these characters. You want to go along for the ride and want to see this guy complete his mission. And I thought it was just a very fun film overall. It's a very silly movie. It knows that it's not going for anything too dramatic or too engaging overall to make it stand out on its own. It's playing it very well to a T, but yeah, it's a movie I really enjoy. But if you're gonna watch this movie and there's an unrated version of the movie on there, I advise you not to watch the unrated version because that's the unrated version where it is one of the worst looking unrated editions I have ever seen in my entire life. Because what did they decide to do in this movie to push this to an unrated level? The movie features 20 minutes of additional footage and just random CG shots of male and female full frontal nudity. Like, it's so bad that you can literally see the green screen where these people are running back and forth from when these scenes come up here. Like, this feels like a version of the movie where, like, they were obligated by Summit Entertainment to make an unrated version after they had already made the movie. And it's just like, well, shit, everybody's gone home back to their regular roles and jobs, and we don't have the time to do this. Just go call some random Playboy bunnies, Playgirl play dudes, and just say, hey, come down to the stage and make $20 an hour for the next couple of hours so we can take this, because we need nudity in this movie. I mean, it literally feels forced in. Like, you have to watch this. I would say watch it for once to see how badly CG everything is with those unrated scenes in general that they throw in there. I mean, they force them in there, and it's one of the worst looking unrated cuts of a film I have ever seen in my entire life. I would honestly say one time watch it just to see what I'm talking about, and then never watch it again, because that's what I did, and it was the smartest decision I ever made, because this film works well on its own. Just don't watch the unrated version. I mean, the unrated version is absolutely awful. So, with that said, let us go ahead and move on to our last film we have here. Barry Levinson's film with Robert De Niro. What just happened?
No, you're not listening. I'm driving on the 405 as we speak. I'm 5 minutes away. I'm driving right over the hill.
Hi, Daddy.
Morning, gorgeous.
Mom wants to ask you something. She said it's okay for you to go in the house instead of using your cell phone.
That's good to know.
Okay, Ben, let's play by the rules.
I thought our last session went really well, didn't you?
We're running a little short on time.
Why can't we talk about it?
Next time.
I know the time is up, but we're paying enough money. We can't stay 2 more minutes.
Thank you very much. Ben, you've got a problem. Serious problem. If you have final cut, I'll take the movie away from you and recut it myself.
It'll be fine. It's jet lag. I'll take care of it or something.
No, seriously, what just happened there when I said that name? I don't know. I lost my train of thought there for a second. But the movie is called What Just Happened, and you follow the week in the life of a powerful Hollywood producer played by Robert De Niro as he juggles negotiations with a studio head so that his news picture can open at Cannes in 2 weeks. And you have a high-strung director who has to make edits to the film, with an actor and his agent becoming the star because the star has arrived on the set of a new picture with a full beard, and his most recent ex-wife, Kelly, who discovers he might have a lover. He also notices that his 17-year-old daughter from another marriage has been crying. What's up? Can Ben keep it all together, get the green light for the studio to go to Cannes, move his new picture past the beard crisis, and maybe return to Kelly's good graces? More like, can Barry Levinson return to his former graces? Because, man, this movie is all over the place, and not in a good way. It's fitting, too, that this is opening, that we're talking about this on the same Sunday where the new Barry Levinson, Robert De Niro film, The Alto Nights, opened up in theaters not too long ago, just this past Friday. And, yeah, this movie, I'll tell you this movie definitely does not look that great overall. I mean, the trailer even looks really cheap. Like, you could tell that this was an independent film, and they didn't even try to make it seem like it was intended for the big screen in general. Like, the sounds feel very chopped up. I mean, the cuts really don't feel like a real trailer edit overall. And unfortunately, that's the ebb and flow of this movie in general. I think the film overall really just kind of fell apart pretty quickly. It's one of those movies where they think, this, you think this is going to be a biting satire of how Hollywood works. But no, it's a safe and marketable satire. Like, Hollywood would like to see these movies, but they don't want these movies in particular to really be as sharp and satirical as they can be. They don't want another version of The Player, because how dare you say that Hollywood is corrupt and all that type of stuff. And because it is. Yeah, Hollywood can be corrupt sometimes, and things go on behind the scenes that we're not supposed to know about that should be known in movies like this. But this film, it just doesn't work. It's a film that has so many good people involved in here. You see Robert De Niro, Catherine Keener, Robin Wright Penn, Stanley Tucci, Moon Bloodgood, John Turturro, Sean Penn, Bruce Willis playing himself in this movie. It just doesn't work. It does not work, and it just really felt... I was bored watching this movie, honestly. With all these people involved in here, I expected so much more from this film, and man, I was let down big time by this film in general. It's not a very good movie, but on the plus side, you get to see Bella Swan 1 month before she stars in Twilight. Kristen Stewart's in the movie, too. I forgot to mention that, but besides that, there's really nothing about this movie that should be viewed at, so... Yeah, what just happened? A bad movie just happened. You can avoid this one.
From Walt Disney Pictures, be the first to see their last year together.
I'm gonna have a last dance at East High. It's gonna be with you.
This fall, experience the memories.
This is our last chance to do something together.
The surprises and goodbyes of senior year.
I'm a lot better at saying goodbye than you.
Why are you saying goodbye?
High School Musical 3. Now playing only in theaters.
Which kind of makes sense when you really think about it. The first two movies were surprise successes on the Disney Channel. They were bringing in money for Disney, so they figure, why not put what was supposed to be the final installment of the series onto the big screen and see what happens? And this is still technically the final movie in the series, even though the franchise has continued with spin-offs, TV series spin-off as well. But in this movie, you have Troy Bolton, once again played by Zac Efron, Gabriella, Vanessa Hudgens, Sharpay, Ashley Tisdale, her twin brother Ryan, played by Lucas Grabeel, and Chad Danforth, Corbin Bleu, and Taylor McKessie, played by Monique Coleman, who are in the final year of high school and face the daunting prospect of being separated as they go off to college. Joined by the rest of their East High classmates, they stage their last spring musical, reflecting their experiences, hopes, and fears about the future. So essentially, yeah, this is basically the equivalent to a series finale of a television show. I mean, it's almost kind of like the Daria finale, because it was basically the same thing. It was the last day of high school before everybody goes off on their separate ways. And unlike that show, which was very funny and had a good finale overall, this is your typical High School Musical movie. There's nothing really that bad about it per se, and yeah, it is what it is. If you go into it knowing what you've seen from the other two movies, it's basically that, except with a much bigger budget overall. I mean, it's fine for what it is. It really is nothing that's going to be that offensive or anything too, like, damaging to your kids and all that. Basically, if you saw the first two movies, you're going to get what you want here, and a little bit more of a bigger budget overall. And, yeah. But to its credit, it does show you the promising future that these actors have going forward. Because, of course, following this, Zac Efron would later re-team with Kenny Ortega again for their next movie, 17 again, which could come out not but 6 months later and show that, hey, this guy's got some acting chops. Vanessa Hudgens would star in a movie where she got to show off her acting chops. And Ashley Tisdale's become a prolific voice actress, of course, playing Candace on Phineas and Ferb. So, yeah, a lot of these actors have gone on to do bigger and better things, and, yeah, what you get here is what you get here overall. So, yeah, nothing really more to say about this one. Have you seen the other High School Musical movies? You're going to like this one, too. I mean, this is just like those movies, except with a much bigger budget, and yeah, the fan base will definitely love it. Non-conformers, I'd say stay away from it, but then again, there's really no reason for you to see it if you're not a fan of it, per se, but then again, you may have gone to see it that weekend if you said that you wanted to see High School Musical 3, but you really wanted to sneak into our next movie.
I want to play a game. I'm the man you call Jigsaw. Saw 5. Rated R in theaters October 24th.
That is, of course, Saw 5, which, yeah, it makes sense that people that want to go into Saw 5 would want to buy a ticket for High School Musical 3 and then sneak into Saw 5 when nobody's looking, which, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, you can probably do it easily, but anyway, in this movie you have, this time around, FBI agent Peter Strahm, played by Scott Patterson, investigating the murders committed by Jigsaw, played by Tobin Bell again, but as he delves deep into the case, he realizes that the murders are part of a much larger, more intricate plot. Meanwhile, Jigsaw's accomplice, Mark Hoffman, Costas Mandalore, has been promoted to lieutenant and is tasked with leading the investigation into the Jigsaw murders. However, as Strahm gets closer to the truth, he becomes the target of Jigsaw's traps. Lather, rinse, repeat, pretty much the same thing as the other movies, except, as I said before, each one of these movies gets worse and worse with every film, and even the appeal of seeing what new devious traps are going to be in store for this really do start to get old pretty quickly. And the last movie in particular, I think really kind of like was the tipping point in terms of what they were able to do in general here. But once you take the director away, Darren Lynn Bousman, who made the last couple of movies, and bring in another director as a whole, it really does start to lose its muster as a whole. Like, the series really has not really gotten... It was really at a low point at this point, because, it was pretty much everybody going in there expecting the same thing, except what elaborate, cool-looking traps are going to set up here. And even the traps in here, in this movie, are really not that strong overall, so, yeah. But they would turn it around with the next movie, Saw 6, but unfortunately there was another smaller horror movie that was coming around to take Saw's thunder away from them, but... we'll delve into that when we come up to next year's Halloween. But, I mean, honestly, if you really want to see the best Saw movie out there, all you have to do is go on to YouTube and look up this right here.
Murder in college? I don't know.
16 years later, and that's still one of the greatest YouTube videos of all time. I mean, a collaboration of Saw and High School Musical, done with the graphics that you were able to do in 2008, and looking pretty much like the real thing. I mean, the scene with Zac Efron with the knives in his hands, like that looks real. Like that looks like something they actually put in that movie, and it's funny, man. You gotta watch the whole thing to really get the sense of what I'm talking about here. But that's the better Saw movie than the Saw movie that we had in theaters that year. So, there you go. That's my thoughts on Saw 5. So, with all that said, let's get to some of the other movies that came out this weekend, starting with Edward Norton and Colin Farrell starring in Pride and Glory.
They're dead. Our money's missing. There's only one of those things we can get back.
Now, what is going on here? Were you in on this?
We sold our shields off. Highest bidder. Murder for hire.
Did you hear what I said? Jimmy executed him.
Be smart. They were burying the truth. This goes deeper than you think.
I will not apologize for doing what I do.
Pride and Glory. Rated R. Starts October 24th.
Yeah, a lot of usually reliable hands on this movie, and yet they made a film that is so boring, so dull, so generic, and just, been there, done that before. You have this, stop me if you've heard this before, you have a story of an NYPD detective played by Edward Norton who uncovers a police corruption scandal that implicates his brother-in-law, Colin Farrell, threatening to unravel their tightly bond family of law enforcement officers. Gee, that's a story that has been done to death so many times before. And the worst part about it is, you have a director like Gavin O'Connor, who has made a lot of really good movies. Miracle, Warrior, The Accountant, The Way Back, which I think is one of his more underrated movies with Ben Affleck. And not only that, this is co-written by Joe Carnahan, who did Smoking Aces. I mean, so much good talent on this film, and yet they give us the most bland, boring movie you could possibly take from this. And it's boring because nothing really interesting happens in this movie. It's literally a film where everything that happens in this movie has been done before in much better films, and they do not do anything new or exciting to make you want to see this film and see for something truly different. No, it's the same damn movie we've seen before, time and time again. And yeah, the performances are fine in here. Edward Norton, Colin Farrell are fine in here. Jon Voight's okay. Noah Emmerich's fine. Jennifer Ellie's fine in this. But other than that, though, there's really nothing that makes this something that you need to see. This is a movie that's been done to death before so many times in much better movies. And, yeah, just didn't work. A lot of good talent on board here, but just goes to show you that good talent does not save a good movie. To save a movie like this, that's boring, dull, lifeless, and stuff we've seen done before so many times. So, yeah, a hard skip on Pride and Glory. So, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie we have here, and that is the first of 2 Clint Eastwood movies in this fall of 2008. Angelina Jolie starring in Changeling.
It gets dark.
Los Angeles, March 10th, 1928.
Walter?
Christine Collins' son vanished. 5 months later, the police told her son had been found alive.
It's not my son.
It's not Walter as you remember him.
The mystery of what happened would change a city forever.
You have stopped looking for my son.
Why should we
And that is
be
your
looking for
responsibility.
someone we've already found?
I want my son back.
I want my Oscar, damn it! Oh wait, I got one already. That's probably what Angelina Jolie was thinking when she was doing that line. And hey, an excuse for me to use my Oscar again. But once again, feels very much like the real thing. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Changeling. Changeling is, of course, based on a true story, specifically the 1928 Wineville chicken coop murders in Miraloa, California, and focuses on Angelina Jolie as a woman united with a boy who she realizes is not her missing son. When she tries to demonstrate that to the police and the city authorities, she is vilified as delusional, labeled as an unfit mother, and confined to a psychiatric ward. The film explores themes of child endangerment, female disempowerment, political corruption, and mistreatment of mental health patients. And also the themes of, let's just fuck around with the Angelina Jolie in here. I mean, good lord, this movie is a colossal misfire of a movie, which... I mean, the story is very interesting, like, especially considering who wrote this movie, J. Michael Straczynski, who, of course, is very much known for his work with the real Ghostbusters, and he's done mostly, like, comic book stuff. Like, he's never really, as far as I know, he never written a script like this before. So, the fact that this movie is as lame as it is, I mean, this is a dull, boring movie that just... And like I said, it feels like they're trying nothing more but to get an Oscar nomination out of this, several Oscar nominations out of it. And even Clint Eastwood feels like he's falling asleep at the wheel on this movie. I mean, this film gets really annoying really fast because Angelina Jolie has a legitimate case to say that, hey, this is not my son, but people keep pushing this on her, like, you know, take your son and shut the fuck up. Like, it's just like. If there was a point to it, if something actually happens and it happens to make you want to root for the people involved in here, then maybe, just maybe, this movie could have been salvaged. But there's just nothing there. It's a movie where you're literally watching Angelina Jolie being pushed around, being treated badly, and being vilified as somebody that she clearly is. And this is basically the equivalent of a gossip. It's of a gossip, somebody who gossips a lot, and basically everybody believing what she says. And you know, you're the guilty one. Like, it really does feel like that watching this movie. I never got the sense that anybody in this movie should be praised or responsible for what they did here. Except, you know, Angelina Jolie is fine in the movie, and, you know, Jeffrey Donovan is okay in here too. John Malkovich is good in this, but besides that, though, just the fact that everybody in this movie, except for Angelina Jolie, comes off as a straight-up asshole, and just... like, why are they even doing this? They never really give a good indication of what good this does to tell this woman that this is your son when it's clearly not. Like, what good is that going to do for you as the head of the police station? It's just like it's just, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. It's a lousy film, and thank God Clint Eastwood had a much better movie come out a couple months later, because yeah, this was not good. This was not a good movie at all. What a disappointment this was. What a major letdown this was. Letting good performances by Jolie, Malkovich, and Jeffrey Donovan just go off to the side here. And Clint Eastwood really sleptwalk his way through this movie. I never felt like this guy really was 110% involved in this movie. And I feel bad for J. Michael Straczynski. I mean, you always want to see somebody that used to watch his stuff as a kid, like with the real Ghostbusters. You want to see him advance as a filmmaker as a whole. even looking at the films that he has written, none of them really are that good. Ninja Assassin, Underworld Awakening, I guess Thor and World War Z are passable, but even then, they're not the greatest movies overall, and I still think Thor is the worst of the MCU movies, but World War Z is not that bad overall, but yeah, like I said, everybody feels like they're sleepwalking through this, especially Clint Eastwood. Like, you expect so much better with the people involved in here, and it's just not there, man. It's a movie that is such a disappointment, such a letdown considering all that's on board here, and just, it's a dull, lifeless movie. Kind of like with the last one we looked at. Dull and lifeless. The performances are fine here, but it's not enough to save the film. So yeah, a hard skip on Changeling. So with that said, let us go ahead and move on to the last film we have here, and that is a good movie that we have here, Let the Right One In.
Oscar, tycker du om mig? Ja, jättemycket. Om jag inte hade varit en flicka, hade du tyckt om mig ändå?
So the story here of Let the White One In, based off of the novel the same name, is about this bully 12-year-old boy who develops a friendship with a strange child in Blackburg, a suburb of Stockholm in the early 1980s. And of course, if you know the story, this child turns out to be a vampire. And yeah, this is a really fantastic film. It's a really engaging film. The two leads in this movie are very good. It's a very interesting take on the vampire storyline here, where it's a vampire kid, and it's not it's not an adult vampire in this situation here, and how she becomes friends with this little boy, and it works really well. It's a really engaging story. You buy into the relationships of the two leads. The cinematography is great. The writing overall is really good, and it is such a very good, heartfelt film. Yeah, it's a horror film, but it's a very emotional, heartfelt film that really does work on so many levels. It's a very enjoyable film that, of course, later was remade into a remake, Let Me In, which was alright. It was actually not as bad as people may ranking out to be when they first announced it, but I mean, you got good performances in there, and it's a film that I thought actually did work better than a lot of people were expecting from it. But the director of this is Tomas Alfredson, who would later go on to direct, I think he did Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy and The Snowman, which basically goes to show you that once he came to the U.S., yeah, they really messed up his great stretch of really solid filmmaking, and yeah, those movies are not that good, but Let the Right One In is definitely the best film that this guy has directed. It's one that I do recommend checking out. If you haven't seen it already, it's a great film. Let the Right One In.
What do you do? What brings you here?
I'm an actor.
Wow. Anything I've seen?
Oh, all sorts of movies with all-male casts.
I apologize if I am out of line here, but are you in gay porn?
Guilty as charged.
Is there softcore gay porn? Like just hugging and kissing and, telling each other how cool the other guy is? You're a rad dude. Thanks, you too. Let's play some ball.
You don't have the rent? It's your month.
Why you always bending over backwards for that girl, knowing she ain't giving up no love? You got a good thing going, man. Why complicate that with sex?
What the? What happened to the water?
They shut it off.
How many get this out of my hair? Just use the water out of the toilet.
There's poo in there.
The back part of the toilet.
I don't think we're gonna keep a roof over our heads. These are the exact circumstances people find themselves in right before they start having sex for money. What? You got an idea?
We could make a porno.
Not the idea I was looking for.
It's all mainstream now.
I don't really see myself being in one,
Look at Paris Hilton. She's selling fragrances to tweens, and I'm pretty sure she's legally retarded. The ones I liked when I was a kid, it was always a spoof of a popular movie.
I got it!
Star Horse. What? Han Solo ain't never had no sex with Princess Leia in the Star Wars. I'm just be honest, my first time. I'm not gonna touch you, nothing like that. I have a wife. We're happy. I mean, not happy, but it's cool. It's my job as the producer to see what you got. If it makes you uncomfortable, I love the movies. Do you have a talent?
It's a little something I picked up during bachelor parties.
Her name, Bubbles.
You are my candy girl. We're doing it.
What's happening?
Wait, are we doing it?
Well, you've never thought about the repercussions of sleeping with a chick you've known your whole life? What are you, slow?
Yeah, but it's for getting rich. You just explain to your private beforehand. Look, this doesn't mean anything.
Do you talk to your...
Yeah. Hi,
Hi.
I'm a delivery man, and I have some cream for you. This is the worst porno I've ever seen.
And that right there is kind of the charm of this movie here. Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks are so likable in this movie. You know, they have a lot of good chemistry together, playing these two best friends, and you know they're going to get together in the end. Even though there is one thing about their chemistry in this that I will say kind of hurts the movie a little bit here, but we'll eventually get to that. But the story of Zack and Miri Make a Porno, or Zack and Miri, if you go to Walmart when you were trying to buy this movie, no joke, they was literally... When this came out on DVD and Blu-ray, Walmart refused to put the title "Zack and Miri Make a Porno" on the slipcovers of the DVDs for this, even though now they'll sell movies that, with the names literally having the word massacre in the title. But anyway, in this movie, you have Rogen and Banks playing Zack and Miri, who are facing financial troubles and decide to make an adult film to solve their problems. They're about to get evicted from their house, and at their high school reunion, they meet as you see in the trailer, they meet one of the old gangs that they used to know, Randy, played by Justin Long, who tells them that he's in gay porn, and so that kind of gives Zack the idea to say, why don't we just make a porn movie to make money? And yeah, and chaos and hilarity ensues. They get all their friends involved. Craig Robinson in the movie as well, but they also have Jason Mewes from Jay, of course, from the Clerks, and also Jeff Anderson, Randall from Clerks. Good Lord. And then they get these actresses to come in here. Tracy Lords, who you probably know if you've seen a lot of porn films from back in the day. And Katie Morgan, who if you know from, Skinamax, softcore porn, that type of stuff. Like any movie that was around on TV in the late 2000s, early 2010s on Skinamax, like you'd see her in there. And don't ask how I know that for certain. But yeah, this is a delightfully entertaining movie. This is a film that is one of Kevin Smith's first real mainstream movies that he made. And I think this is his first real mainstream movie because he's got like a whole, it's more mainstream than some of his other works. Like it doesn't feel like it's an indie film like Clerks was, or Chasing Amy, or even Mallrats. Even though that was made by Universal, I mean it didn't feel like a big budgeted movie like Clerks did. Like this is one of his first films where it really does feel like he's getting a bigger budget to make these projects, and it worked really well. It was a very entertaining film. I really thought it was very funny and very well put together. You can tell that Rogen and Banks, like I said, they have a lot of good chemistry together, and they act like normal people. They do a pretty good job of acting like normal people in this situation here. They clearly have no idea how to make movies in general, or how to make porn in general, because, that whole thing at the end there with the scene where, Zack and Miri are literally inside the porno, like, you can tell that they're not really good actors overall in that scene, but it works very well in the case of the film overall. It's a very good film. It's a really funny movie. It's a well-made film overall. I will say the one thing I have against the film overall, that's kind of sort of a nitpicky thing overall, is that like they do something at the end of the movie where they gotta have the third act breakup. They gotta have a scene where there's this big misunderstanding between Zack and Miri and the character played by Katie Morgan, the other star that you hear. Like Elizabeth Banks basically thinks that she's cheating on Zack with her, and there's never any real indication if that's the case here. All they're doing is just talking. But, in this case, it's just like, that's got to be, apparently that's the one thing that means that they're clearly banging. And no, it never does that. And it feels like that was forced in. And it really does essentially kind of ruin the ebb and flow of the movie in general for a little bit there. And it really, really could have ruined the movie if the ending had been really less than what it could have been. But they do save it at the end. They do kind of save it at the end overall. But it really just feels like it was kind of unnecessarily thrown in there because I guess the studio kind of forced Kevin Smith to put that in there. I mean, it just felt like it was really pointless overall. But it does redeem itself at the end. So it doesn't really overall ruin the film in general. But why does this movie have a personal connection with me per se? Well, as you can get a close look in a little bit of the trailer there, this film was actually shot here in Monroeville, at the Monroeville Mall. Of course, Monroeville Mall is the place where Dawn of the Dead was filmed at, but this was the other big film that they shot here, and I have memories of this because I remember going to see the filming of this movie one day when I found out they were filming the movie there. There was a scene in the movie where Seth Rogen and Craig Robinson are riding up the escalator from the Macy's end of the mall, and I got to see when they were doing that, and, you know, it was just very fun and interesting to see, you know, these two big stars, Seth Rogen and Craig Robinson, you know, just casually filming a scene in the mall while you have all these other things going on in the background, and the mall was pretty busy. I mean, this was back when the mall was still booming in general, and this was before the movie theater was there. JCPenney was still in the middle of the mall where the movie theater is at. I mean, this was back when, you know, Monroeville Mall still had more to it than what it currently has right now. But I mean, it was very interesting to see that. Them also shooting in the back of the mall too. Like you can like if you live in Monroeville or live near the Monroeville Mall, you can see all the areas where certain scenes are at. Like there's a scene where they're shooting in front of the Army surplus store, right where Sheetz is at. I mean, there's places you can tell if you get a good look and live in the Western Pennsylvania area and live near Monroeville. Like, you can clearly see where everything is in general. And I think it's and that's why this movie kind of it's a little bit more of a special place in my heart because I've been to this place so many times. And the fact that it's on the big screen like this, I mean, it's just like, it's really cool to experience something like that. And yeah, it's just a really, really entertaining film. It's a film that I really enjoy a lot. I think it's very funny. I think it's well done. A very underrated movie from Smith overall. It's one that doesn't get talked about as much as it should, but it's definitely the better of his mainstream movies, because his next one after this would be Cop Out, and needless to say, that is widely considered to be his worst movie in general. And we'll eventually get to that one in 2010, but this is a really good movie. I really like Zack and Miri Make a Porno a lot, so definitely want to recommend. So that's the one you don't really expect to see released on Halloween weekend, but then you see the next film we have here that's released on Halloween weekend that you kind of expect, a horror film called The Haunting of Molly Hartley. Take a good guess of what exactly is going to happen before I even show you what the trailer is.
Mom? Honey, come pray with me. Pray. Me, I have sinned. Close your eyes. I can save you.
911, what's your emergency? Are you there? Hello? Hello?
Molly Hartley's senior year was a chance to start over.
Must be hard being new at school. We're not going to let anything happen to you.
Yeah, you can't hide here all day, and believe me, I've tried.
And leave the past behind her.
Whoa! I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. Usually I'm pretty good at this.
At what?
Flirting, I guess.
But she's about to discover.
I'm really glad you decided to show up.
Me too.
It's not the past she needs to fear.
What the hell are you doing here? Everyone knows you're a mental case, Molly.
It's what waits for her when she turns 18.
Dad, I need you to come pick me up.
Are you safe?
Yeah, I'm safe.
I'm leaving right now.
The darkness is coming for you. Let me save you! Mom!
A choice she didn't make.
Do you really believe that your soul belongs to the devil?
A curse she can't escape. A soul that can't be saved.
Just talk to me. It's okay.
Just leave me alone. Everyone should just leave me alone. I know what you are. Is it too late for me? I know the truth. I have to find a way to stop it. No, Ellie! You can't let them take me! You've always belonged to us. You knew all along?
Chase Crawford, Haley Bennett.
I didn't choose this. Your mother and father made that choice for you. Now you have great power ahead of you. I don't want it. You will.
The Haunting of Molly Hartley.
If your answer was another stupid Exorcist knockoff, then my God, you are correct. Please accept your grand prize that I don't have in my hand right now. But just pretend it's that it's that roll of tape back there in that box. But anyway, that's a package I'm about to send out to you. But anyway, The Haunting of Molly Hartley. Yeah, it's literally every other exorcism movie you have ever seen in your entire life, and not a good one. Not a good one at all. Molly Hartley, played by Haley Bennett, looks to put her troubled past behind her with a fresh start at a new school where she sparks with one of the most popular students. But can her secrets stay buried, especially as she learns more about the horrific truth that awaits her once she turns 18? Will you give a shit whatsoever? I mean, the trailer pretty much spoils everything for you. Clearly, the guy in the movie has something to do with this whole thing. I mean, everybody in this movie is just a stock character, including the main character in general. I mean, this is a lousy movie, man. And it's just like, and the worst part is, it was a hit. It made 3 times its $5 million budget, so it did make money, but then again, there was nothing else released on Halloween. I mean, it's the kind of example where, you know, you put this out in a wide amount of theaters, you know, you take your date to this movie, hoping that you'll get some TNA at the end of it, and you'll never mention this movie ever again, because I guarantee you that the people who saw this movie never wanted to see this movie again, because it's literally the same movie we've seen done to death before so many times, in so many other better ways, too. These actors have gone on to have much better roles in general. Haley Bennett's gone on to become a decent actress. Maren Hinkle from 2.5 Men's in here playing her mother. Annalyn McCord, of course, she was on 90210, but she was also in Fired Up, which was a really underrated movie overall. Shannon Woodward's on Raising Hope. Chase Crawford's been some stuff in here that he's actually been pretty decent in. Everybody in here has done so much better than this, and this is just the movie that literally feels like a, hey, nothing else is open up on Halloween. Let's put something together within 20 minutes and put it on the big screen. That's literally what it feels like when this movie came out. But yeah, not much more to say about this one here. I think it's pretty obvious that you should avoid the haunting of Molly Hartley like the fucking plague. Plain and simple.